Hi, my name is Leen de Vries. I'm the CEO of the Sun Valley Group. We are a tulip farmer in California. I grew up in tulips. I'm actually a fourth generation tulip grower. Grew up in Holland. My father grew tulips, my grandfather grew tulips, and my great-grandfather grew tulips. Came to America when I was 23 years old, and guess what? I'm growing tulips right here on American soil. Tulips were discovered in Asia through Turkey, actually were imported to Holland in the 1500s, 1600s. It became a very well-established crop in Holland, and the prices on those tulip bulbs were escalating to such a level that at one point, one tulip bulb would fetch the same as a house in Amsterdam. Why are tulips grown in soil? The main reason for that is to just follow the natural circumstances, how those tulips would grow in the field, how they would grow in your yard. It's a very natural process, and in our case, we actually use composted bark. There's a lot of natural bacteria that are in the soil that suppress diseases. So since we started using this composted bark, we have not needed to use any chemicals in the soil to prevent those root diseases. And what it also does, it grows a tulip very slowly, creates a very good growing process with very nutrient-rich soil, and it gives very green foliage, a lot of chlorophyll that will actually help ultimately with a better vase life for the consumer. What sets a soil-grown tulip apart from the other tulips is that the foliage is greener. Because of the slower growing process, it allows the assimilation to take place, and the light actually puts a lot of chlorophyll in those leaves. Once that consumer receives that bunch of tulips, it will actually stay longer, that foliage will actually stay green in the vase, while with some other tulips that may not be the case. Why do we grow year-round tulips? We root them at the natural circumstances, at roughly 48 degrees, just like it would be in the fall in most growing regions. Once the roots develop, then we slowly take the temperature down, and essentially imitating winter time, just like it would in your yard. Every week we bring out a certain amount of tulips into the greenhouse. There's not another place in the United States, or probably even the world, that has a temperature range that is as narrow as the temperature range we see here in Humboldt County. 53 degrees during the winter, 63 degrees during the summer. A very tight temperature range, which makes this the perfect place to grow a tulip on a year-round basis. I'm a California flower farmer. I love growing in California. California is a great place to grow flowers, and we are proud to put our name, California Grown, on a product as a domestic source of flowers. Well, thank you for watching this video, Tulips 101. Please forward it to friends so you can help share the passion that we have for tulips. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Pieter, and I'm gonna do something with tulips from Sun Valley Farms. And Sun Valley Farms is the farm from Arcata, California, growing very nice tulips. Those tulips are very strong, grown in soil, and look at this. Isn't this a gorgeous result? This variety is called Yellow Flight. It's a very strong yellow tulip. And what I'm gonna do is like something very, very simple. Everyone can do this. You go to the store, you buy 10 tulips, like this. They also sell ready pre-made mixed greens, like these. And those are the only two things you buy. What you do when you buy them, you go home. First thing, you cut the tulips, place them in water for a while, and that while is about 3-4 hours, so that they really can drink. Because you have to realize when you go from the store back home, they are suffering a little bit because they need water. And in your car, there is no water. So they need some more, And after those 3-4 hours, they're nice and ready to work with them. Then you take off the sleeve, which protects the flowers. And if you forget this all, don't worry, because on the sleeve from Sun Valley, it's all written down what to do with the tulips. Then, next step, you leave the bunch as it is. But important, you take off the leaves at the bottom of the stems, because you know, leaves inside the water is not good for the flowers. They will make the water very dirty, and then when the water is getting dirty, then the flowers, they can't drink as much as they like to. And to help that whole process in the water, you have to add also some flower food. This flower food, you can get it in the store. You put it in the water, and this is food for the flowers. But it also keeps the flower water clean. Now what I'm gonna do is, like, I look at the tulips and put them all in the same length, which is easy. You just pull it a little bit up so they're all equal. And you know, I hear my father say, put them nice and equal. You know, I'm born and raised on a flower farm of tulips. So, then you take the greens. What you do is you open the bunch of greens like this. You take the tulips and you lay them in between the greens like this. At that point, you cut the rubber band of the greens and put the greens all around. Now at this point, it looks like that the tulips are a little bit hidden away in the greens. But guess what? Tulips have something special. When you buy tulips and they are this tall, after a couple of days they grow a little bit more. So for the price you buy, you get something more. And what you have to realize most of the time is that the tulips are growing exactly something more like the size of the flower head. So this is the size of the flower head figure that comes on top. So after a week, they're this tall. Now, you use a scissor in the beginning to cut the stems in the length you prefer to have for your bouquet. Like this. In this case with tulips, go more or less for half-half. So this should be the half, and the total length of your bouquet is also the other half. And realize they grow, so that at the end you get like almost like 1/3, 2/3. Then you take a knife and cut the tulips in an angle so they can even drink more. Like this. And now, look, everybody can do this. You just put them in the water and you just give it a little touch at the end. In the beginning, what you can do is like pull them up a little bit so that later you can push them down a little bit if you prefer to have it this way. Worst case scenario, if you think like, oh, they're getting too tall. You know, it's pretty easy, because if you think they're too tall, you just pull them out, take a knife and cut another piece. You know, cutting off is still possible. Adding to something to the stems doesn't work with flowers. So you can see this is a very easy solution to make a beautiful bouquet, and everyone can do it.